Hey guys, welcome. So sorry about that. I'm a little late. I lost track of time actually. I was actually working on randomly reading. I forgot. It's a guide story. I don't even remember the name. I was just like, oh, this looks interesting. So I started reading. I was like, okay, this is a different way to do it. Kind of like solo leveling, but not exactly. Um, But anyways, it was actually pretty fun. All right, so let's see. Well, some announcements, I guess. Today will be a probably very short stream. So I woke up and I was like, man, I really want to write today, and so I did, and I ended up with 1,000 words early in the morning. So I was like, oh, then I only have half of that to do now. And so I'm pretty sure stream will be super short, which is, it's fine. Another thing though, I've been trying to publish this story. I've named it Clan of Ash, and it's like YA paranormal thriller, I think is the best way to describe it. It deals with like secret societies of kind of like Morganville vampires or Cassandra Clare's City of Bones, I believe it was, where you have the supernatural living and like a secret, well, like among people, but it's a secret and stuff. So on that inspiration, and I've been trying to I started publishing, I think, or trying to query. I want to say January of this year. So every month I've been sending out different query letters to different agents. And yeah, since January. But overall that hasn't been really going well in general. Most of them, well, all of them really have been rejected, which is, I'm like, it's not anything new. I feel like to be rejected when you query your query in general, for your book. So yeah, there's been rejections, and I'm like, okay, it's expected. So I don't really feel like terrible. Like I feel bad, but I'm like, okay, on to the next one. And so I think I queried this one about last month. There's been like a month. But most agents or places get back to you. Sometimes it's like super quick. I think one was like within weeks, and others are like months. But I got one back today, and unfortunately, there's no representation. So got another rejection today. But it's like, okay, it's fine. I mean, it's like, okay, I just have to keep trying. But there are a couple of agents that I'm waiting for them to open up again for querying, but I've been waiting for like a few months now and haven't really heard back. And at this point, it's like, yeah, I'm kind of getting discouraged, but at the same time, it's like, well, what can you do, right? I still want to try to be published, and I know there's like other authors out there who have tried to publish and get rejected, and they keep trying. So that's what I'm going to do. I think at this point, I have over like 20 submissions, which is not, too bad, but maybe it's a little bit compared to how many months. I think I haven't done anything this month, and I think last month I sent like one or two. So it's like, I feel like most query letters are sent in batches, like of like 5+. But I've done like manuscript wish list, and there's been like, there's always been updates of, agents out there. So I'll be looking again this month for more agents that are open. But so far I feel like, I feel like I just have to keep trying. But at the same time, it's kind of like, well, do I want to keep trying? I don't know. I'm still going to, just because I feel like I'm stubborn enough, or like I'm stubborn to just like give up. But overall, it's, I'm still gonna do what I've been doing. Definitely need to, get a list of more agents out there, but a lot of them, I feel like I've seen their name over and over again, and I know they're not a good fit for my story. So, you know, there's that. It does help that, like, Query Manager makes it so easy to submit your query letter. But maybe I need to start looking at changing up the pitch if it hasn't been working. Also, like, maybe finding somebody else to, like, read through it or just give me feedback as well. Change that up a bit. I think that would be, like, a better investment of just changing the way I query. So that's food for thought. Something to think about. Alright, but we got that down, so it's, you know, it is what it is. Let's see. Now, we do have about 1,000 words left, so it might be super, super short. At least the stream will. Not really sure. I mean, I think we're beginning Act 3 already on the story. So to recap of what happened, or what has happened so far. So we know that Lucinda and Michael rescue the missing people, with like Captain Journey and Ethan. They brought them back to town. Those who were injured were taken to the church for more treatment. Everybody else seemed to have gone home. I think I have to put a part where it's like they don't remember who took them or how they disappeared. You know, or anything like that. So I have to remember that part. And then Lucinda got infected, and as she was turning into a vampire, the other vampires, disguised as, not really disguised, although people they say basically got turned into vampires too. And so they attacked the town. There was huge chaos and fighting. And during that chaos, we had 2 other Holy Knights, which was Joseph and Gabriel, show up. They said that Father David had called them in as reinforcements because something was going on in Kanya that just didn't add up. And of course, Michael wasn't really following orders, so he needed someone to do what they were told. So with Gabriel and Joseph's help, you know, the fiends were put down. Everyone was like, took a breather. One of Michael's men, which was Raymond, he kind of had his arm chopped off to stop the infection before, but he died defending those in the medical wing from the people who turned into vampires there. And so he went to give their condolences. After that, I think, let's see. Michael is now talking to Gabriel and Joseph. They're trying to figure out what is their next move. Father Bennett and Father David are not in this discussion, but they're kind of like doing their own thing with the town, you know, protecting them and just being there, you know, for people can see, hey, you know, we still have power. It was just all this stuff going on. So they're trying to appease the people in town. So that's what they're doing. So right now, Michael is being told that, hey, you didn't do a very good job here. A lot of stuff happened that could have been stopped. And basically, you saved somebody that had been charged as a criminal. And all evidence seems, or circumstantial evidence seems to point that Lucinda's behind all this. And now she's ran off and we don't know where she is. So Michael didn't tell him that she got turned into a vampire. He just said, yeah, she's missing, and little boy is missing too, which is Briar. And we all know what we don't know what happened to Briar, but I know what happened to Briar. So Michael told them that he wants to investigate the Sheriff Whitman, and they're like, why? And that's where I left off this morning, because, you know, I feel like at this point, Michael is trying to stay, like, relevant to the investigation. I don't know. I feel like every time I write something, it's always, like, a mystery. Like, hey, we got to figure this out. It's not like, hey, stop this from going off or, like, anything else. I mean, it's not the only thing I write, but I feel like it's a lot of what I write. So we'll see. Okay, so Sheriff Whitman, what does he have to do with this? When there is a major attack, he always arrives after the fact, Michael told him. He's never seen helping others, helping the people, even the let's see, the townsfolk has mentioned it as well. So this would be Gabriel. It sounds like an excuse. Sometimes my grammar is not up to par. Like, I feel like I think it faster than I can write it. So let's add like dialogue, description tag. Okay. And then the silence dragged or stretched. Try to avoid the same words. Michael glanced between the two holy knights. Joseph had starting underneath his fingertips. Joseph. Gabriel finally said, accompany Michael to Sheriff Whitman's home, or try the sheriff station. I think the guards, I don't know if they would call it sheriff post. Would it be station? Post. It's like a guard post, a sheriff post. Maybe we'll try post. Oops. I'm not sure if that sounds right, but well, you know, it's fine. We'll just like leave it there for now. And all that, yeah, we'll leave it there and then make the changes after. Because, you know, if we can reach, honestly, if we can reach, I don't know about reaching the 60,000 words earlier. But even if I don't reach it and we finish the story, you know, I'm still going to go back and add more things. I've talked about this before on stream. And I think I'm not very good at editing on the computer, like, at all. I don't know. I just feel like I'm not good at it. So what I do a lot of times is like print it out and then mark it up with like a pen and my sticky notes and a highlighter and move things around, which is because, you know, it's like something tangible that I can hold. But for this one, I'm not really sure how I want to do it. I think printing it out would be the best way, and then just like doubling up on what I have to do later. Well, I don't know. It probably wouldn't be like doubling up. I mean, it will give me like more work, but I feel like deleting it and then rewriting it, you know, I think it'd be like, okay, here's the original. Make a copy of the document and then switch it up would be better. But I definitely like the idea of, yes, making a copy of the original document to mark on, but then also print it out to that way you can write your thoughts on it and like, oh hey, add this really quick, or you know, or something. But I feel like I think a lot about how am I gonna edit this when I'm writing, and it's like, no, you need to write first. Think about like editing after the fact. So it's hard. It's hard. We try the sheriff post. Keep an eye on him. He looked at Michael. I'll give you 2 days to find. No, I'll give you a day. A day to find evidence that ties Sheriff Whitman to the vampires. Otherwise, you'll leave town for good. Otherwise, you and your men will leave town for good. There we go. Oh man, it's been like super hot lately. Yeah, I feel like I have the AC down to like 60 something and it feels like it's 73 or 74 in here, and it's like, whew, not to mention outside. It's funny because it's like, it's poured. Like, I think last week it was like raining for like 3 days straight, and then it gets, you know, and then it stops and it just gets hotter, and then it's just like, cycle continues. But that's why I don't go outside that much. The sun is too bright and you burn, so you know, gotta avoid that. Now if I go outside, you know, run errands, sometimes you just need that, but it's not too bad. All right, so we're changing up the scene. We're gonna switch over to Lucinda. Well, I've been thinking of this a lot. So right now I do have maybe a total of like 4 scenes that doesn't involve Michael and Lucinda. Like, we have the one where Sheriff Whitman and Father Bennett are talking. Or maybe that's like the only one. I think. Yeah, so it's like, I feel like I'm missing a lot of opportunities to bring what other characters are doing into the light. Like, I was thinking about like Redman. Like, he died due to his injuries, and when they're mourning him, like, you know, saying the prayers and stuff and putting like the burial shroud on him, they're like, oh yeah, he fought bravely, and I'm like, that's a lot of telling. So maybe if I finish the story, you know, I have to go back and maybe at the part where they are fighting in the medical wing, maybe, you know, show when there's like the chaos happening in town, you know, maybe showing other people, like maybe the sheriff, what the sheriff is doing, or what Father David and Father Bennett are doing. That way it gives, you know, it gives a bit more perspective about what's going on and gets into their head. But it's definitely something I feel like I need to include because it is fantasy, and I feel like I don't think I'm gonna have too many point of views coming back and forth. Like, I don't want to use a lot of them, but I think those moments would be good, because I had it when during like that festivities when the ghouls attacked at the mayor's house. We had Ethan point of view when he was fighting with Captain Journey. That was good. I thought it was good because it was still in the same area, but they were fighting. And then we had Torvik, Maynard, and Raymond fighting their own. And I thought that was a good addition too, because, you know, it showed them in the perspective of like just regular foot soldiers. So maybe you know, to make it more impactful when, like, you know, there's death or character death, I feel like I need to add more scenes where they're present, so I can give them more like, hey, they're just not here. They're not just here to die. Their death is, you know, still weighs heavily on the characters because they were friends or close acquaintances, you know, or something. Alright, but that's probably something I have to go back and do. For now, I do want to focus on, like, the main story. That way, I feel like I have some momentum going. So it's like, okay, I want to continue this, but then I know I have to go back and add other stuff. So, we'll stick with that. So Lucinda crept out of the nest without drawing attention. Okay, so I'm not really going to touch upon what happened to Briar because I kind of want to like leave it as a surprise. But at the same time, you know, it's like, did she not? So I might change this once we, you know, do everything else. So it's like, I'm gonna leave that there, but maybe, because the rules I set in the world was like, and it's a huge part, so it's like, you know, all the newborns, like, drank blood, and Michael believed there's a way to cure her. I think he believes that. I have to go back and check. I feel like everything just blurs together, and it's like, did I really write that? Like, huh. But yeah, no, Briar's fate is gonna be left till, like, the end. Is it crept? Is that the word we want? Sure. And she started to run. Dusk had settled across the horizon. The trees protected her from the remaining rays of the sun. You move quickly through the thick and dark trees. Zipping past the vampires' patrols. Had been an easy feat. It was accustomed to avoiding Kanya's own patrols. So she's been, like, avoiding. She knows how to slip past people. So, you know, that skill has come handy. So I remember last time Lucinda made it to the brood mother, is what I'm gonna call her, back to the nest, and the brood mother, like, told Lucinda to basically, like, feed from Briar, which we left on the cliffhanger. So this is after the fact. As I mentioned, we don't know what happened to Briar's fate. But here I wanted to I want to show that she kind of regained a little bit more awareness for herself after that. Like before it was like, oh, her body was like being controlled. She couldn't, she couldn't do anything. She couldn't refuse. So I don't know if this will have it where it's like, that's such a sudden change. What changed? And it's up to speculation, but maybe it'll be too much speculation. But I think when the beta readers and they read it, I hope to get like good feedback on whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing. But first writing, then editing, then like beta readers and stuff. So we'll see. Ooh, maybe I should make like an email list, like a newsletter where it's like, I give you like excerpts of other work I'm doing or work I'm doing, early progress or updates, and then maybe be like, hey, you can join the newsletter, and then if you're on the newsletter, I'll reach out to you to see if you're interested to do a beta reading, like they get like first picks or something. I don't know. We'll see how that works. It have been a stroke of luck that brood mother hadn't compelled Lucinda to stay within the nest. As the vampires had slept throughout the day, mother's aura, mother's control on her had diminished, or should we say faded? Let's keep diminished. Have faded, dulled, because it's still there, but it's not as strong. Maybe dulled, yeah. Enough to realize, to cause Lucinda to realize what was happening. So I guess a glimpse of like what she went through, or like how she got more in control of herself. One thing was certain. Let's just say she's gonna call her mother from now on because it's just been ingrained in her. Mother had made it clear no one was to go near Kanya for the moment. I don't want to lose any more children, were her exact words. But Lucinda didn't care. She only had one reason to disobey. Even if it meant death, she needed to avenge her human father's death. I'm not sure if that sounds good. Oh, we'll leave it. Let's just leave it. Remember, we don't edit until later. Then, Lucinda could die in peace. Alright. Okay. So it's dusk. It's been a couple of hours since, you know, Michael, Joseph, and Gabriel talked. I kind of want to incorporate that, like what they were doing. Maybe they're like, I think they can like bump into Lucinda on her way. Every sound, every whisper reached as she grew closer and closer to Kanya. Smoke spiraled above the town. From what? I think it's a new paragraph. We'll make it. From what Lucinda had heard of the newborns that managed to escape for there were 2 other holy nights now, making it 3. But it made no difference. All Lucinda had to do was avoid them. Lucinda climbed up the nearest tree and scanned the town. The streets were empty. There weren't any bodies that remained. But there were many burned fires. I think at this point, I think it's like she can focus in and try to like detect like the rest of the town. She cast her gaze on the church. The silver on their buildings made her eyes hurt. Okay, so we know that the church is protected, but you know, it's still stuff went on. But I feel like because I think one of the things I want to allude to, I don't think I've done a good job at it, was that the blessing the ground depends on the caster's faith. And I don't know if I want to call it purity, but like pure of intentions. Like, for example, like if Father Bennett had been like not faithful, or he was doubting, or he had committed, you know, some crime or whatever, like his bless wouldn't be able to, you know, keep out many like ghouls or vampires from the grounds. But if like Michael, you know, or like someone like Michael, if he cast the bless, or like, you know, prayer and stuff, if he had done that, you know, it would have been like no fiend shall pass. But those who are like, you know, making bad choices where it affects their pure intentions, their, you know, their power would be lessened. But like, at the same time, I'm not sure if I'm explaining it correctly or explaining it well, but I think I need to have like a character start thinking along those lines. Or maybe this will be a good opportunity to include it now, because Ned looks at the church, but she doesn't really find anybody there, right? It didn't, you know, it's like the church's like aura or like blessed grounds didn't repulse her. But then she looks over there at the mayor's house, and it's like she couldn't bring herself to step, you know, to get closer, or force herself to get closer. And that's because, you know, Father David blessed it too. And Father David has always acted what he thinks is the best of intentions. Like, he believes Cinda is a criminal, at least now more than ever. And, you know, it's not really his fault that he's maybe been manipulated or like set to think a certain way. But even then, you know, kind of, I think it was like, which season of Castlevania was it? Like, even though like well, spoilers, but it's been like a couple of years. With like Castlevania, like the priest died from the second season, I think it was. Was it the first season? Well, the priest one that was like Burn the Witch, that one. You know, I mean, he didn't stay alive, you know, spoilers, but he didn't. And I believe they brought him back. Again, spoilers. And like he made like the river like holy water and stuff. So it was like he was dead, but he was brought back, but then he can still bless the water and, you know, cause all the other stuff to happen. So it was like, well, if he's dead, he can still do this, and, you know, he still has that power of faith. So that's kind of what I'm drawing inspiration from. Like, that's their ability to like bless something. But it's kind of like, you know, morality. If you're a good person, you know, and can, you know, project your faith, then you should be able to bless the town. But, you know, if you're not, or if you're something that's, you're engaged in something that, you know, deals with that, like prevents you from being faithful to something, that, you know, they might have trouble. All right, but anyways, let's continue. He couldn't sense many people inside. Perhaps Mr. Evelyn or Mr. Dessner were still there. She couldn't sense. Let's delete that. She couldn't sense many people inside. However, when she gazed at Mayor Asher's home, Lucinda couldn't stand to look at it no more than a few seconds. Now, I need to remember if Father David blessed the church, because otherwise this wouldn't work. So that's, let me go back to my plot stuff to keep on mind of. A document, unsolved plot points. Okay. So, did Father David bless the church grounds? Speaking of which, also with Asher's home, Mayor Asher's home, like, what happened to Asher's family? I feel like maybe I have to, like, he came out of his house, but I really didn't introduce his family. So maybe that's also like a lost opportunity. I need to introduce the family. Yeah, I think that'd be good. Introduce the family. Yep. Alright. So, let's just leave it to the, let's, like, keep going with the assumption that Father David did not bless the church, but he did bless Mayor Asher's home. And so, Lucinda, you can't look at it for more than a few seconds. Many guards were stationed around the estate, or the manor, I think it was. The estate is like the house and the grounds. I think the manor is just the building. She spotted many of the townsfolk in the courtyard setting up tents and temporary housing. There we go. I can spell. Okay. But the one he hunted was not there. No, he would be hiding in his office. How about she had no business with them? There you go. Lucinda leapt from her spot and easily cleared Kanya's wooden walls, because they're just like, they're not fancy. She slipped and she slipped into one of the alleys. Like a shadow, she moved through the darkening town. her home. She couldn't recognize any of it. Her life, her future, everything was gone. Even her human father's sword. She had no memory of its last location. I think Michael put it in the room, but I think she left without it. I think she left without her sword. She could never go back to it. As she prowled closer to the sheriff's post. I think I said station. Let me search. Yeah, it's the sheriff's station. Okay. Yeah, post. I think I'm just gonna call it the station for now. I might have to switch it up so it fits. All other thoughts disappeared. Everyone in Kanya knew women worked long hours. One had to wonder what his family thought about that. But even if he still had a family, she knew what she must do. Monsters had no place in this world. But I think I want to. Well, maybe I think I've been working with the idea of like what makes a monster. That it's like, is it the vampires? Is it the humans? You know, that's kind of like the theme I'm going for, because a lot of dark fantasy is morality, like the good versus evil, in a sense of like how far are you willing to go. So I'm hoping, you know, once I go through it again with those themes in mind, I have a better. I feel like I haven't really implemented it as well as I should have, of like who's the real monsters. So definitely something to keep in mind, like the theme. Actually, speaking of the theme, let's add a little bit more here of, you know, that she lost everything. Other than losing her beating heart, losing her inheritance hurt the worst. Feelings of despair, anger, and sorrow were no longer there. She was a hollow shell. That was no way to live. Because it's like she losing everything that made her human. So I kind of want to have it where it's like, you know, it's not a good price to pay. Or not a good way to live. A few streets from the sheriff's station, Linda stopped in an alley. That she was going to kill. Well, he needed a weapon to kill Whitman. It was more out of habit than necessity. Linda looked down at her fingernails. They were like small. They were like daggers. Small and deadly. But no, she didn't want to kill him as a vampire. He'd just be a martyr? Is that what I think it means? Martyr. Huh. Well, as a person who suffers persecution, death for advocating, renouncing, or refusing to renounce or advocate a religious belief or other cause as demanded by an external party. I guess that would fit in a way. We'll keep it for now. Okay, yeah, we'll keep it for now. He needed kill him as a human would. That way, I feel like it probably brings. She's she's thinking that it will bring her family justice, that she could have been avenge her family that way. All right. The weapon had to be something that caused tremendous pain. Like, she wants him to suffer for sure. Like, nah, quick death is not how this is gonna go. So earlier today, or yesterday, I think I went to the store. Well, I had to get like some yarn, because of like there's a turtle that I'm gonna crochet, and I needed the yarn for it, so I did pick it up. But I picked up these banana chips, and they don't have that much flavor, but they're very addicting. So Alright, let's see. A weapon had to be something that caused tremendous pain. Perhaps. I'm not really gonna talk about what I'm writing on stream because it's a little dark, so y'all can read the page if you want. Let me see. I feel like let's get a morning star. A mace will do it too. I want the morning star. Well, a flail can inflict some damage though. You know what? Let's do a morning star. Yeah. You could also tie his limbs. To different horses and have them do the job. No, you know. Okay, just getting a little dark here. But she found neither. No, but she had access to neither one of them. She's like fantasizing at how she's gonna do this and like, wait a minute. She doesn't have any of the tools she needs. Instead, she what is not confirmed? Not confined, it's what's that word? Like she'll take this instead. Not confined. Shoot. I don't like what it sounds like. Dude, this is gonna be tough. Conform. Conform? Is it conform? I'm pretty sure. Hang on. Conform. Conform herself? Yeah, conform. I think that's what we're looking for. With metal. Do we have metal pipes? Well, they have a fountain, so they have some form of like metal work, pipe work, right? Let's just call it a pipe. And we'll change the weapon and maybe like a piece of like wood or something. I don't know. It says she conformed. See, I still don't think that's the correct word, but we'll leave it because I can't think of anything else. found in the rubble. It was a bit rusty, but it would do the work. Oh, it's not conformed, it's confirmed? What? Confirmed. I still don't think that's the correct word. We're gonna underline that because I need to change it. It's just, it doesn't sound right. Send a dash to the building and flipped inside. No issues. The barracks had been empty, and the training grounds abandoned. She had only been inside the main office twice. Oh, I typed it in wrong. Okay. Actually, let me pull up a map of Kanya, because I kind of forgot how I had the town layout, especially for the mayor. Okay, hang on. Oh, here it is. Okay. Alright, so it's yeah, so the main building has like other buildings around it, like a weird arrowhead shape style. Okay, yeah, I did say I was gonna change the layout of the map too, so it's a work in progress. Buildings, rooms and awnings wrapped around the main building. Okay. Let's include this over here. It housed a few tables. Do I want to describe it? I should. Instead, let's do it something differently. Instead of just describing the whole thing, we're gonna describe it in motion. So I feel like that term means, as an example would be like, oh, she walked past the stained glass windows down the hall, turned to the left, and took the tower stairs 2 at a time until she reached the Pope's door. You know, like that's, I feel like that is like describing through movement, where it's like you're not gonna be like, oh, columns, you know, rows high, or like there was like 3 columns on either side of the room, you know, sculpted with all this other stuff, and You know, above there is like stained glass windows made up the roof, letting, you know, a multitude of colors dance through the air. You know, like I mean, I'm not a big fan of big chunks of description like that, because then I just forget. Not that I forget, but it's kind of, I don't know. It's a style, I guess you can say. I don't know if I use that very well. Unless I'm setting the scene. If I'm setting the scene, then yes, I have like a big chunk of description, like a paragraph where like, hey, you know, the town's like this, or this is what it looks like. And then usually it's like, oh, you know, if they're heading somewhere, then I do like the describing a movement type of style, where it's like, oh, you know, she crossed the puddle-ridden street to the post office. You know, she stepped in like some water on her way in. Like, you know, it's, but the character is doing something as we get that description that gives us a clue to, you know, what the setting looks like, or what more of the setting looks like. But it could not work for most books. But I don't know, I don't know, I never really been a fan of just like describing everything all the time. Like, you know, like the story stops moving forward as you're describing this huge chunk of thing. Then again, it's like, is, you know, different styles, but maybe I need to switch it up if I'm gonna get, you know, to that 80,000-90,000 word count. She walked the same path as she did that fateful day. Or maybe it could be like lazy writing if you're like describing as the characters move through it. I don't know, because it also, I feel like when a character describes what they see as, they're like, oh, you know, the path to the castle was riddled with like poor, like stricken folk lying across the street, you know, like, or it gives you an insight to the character. It could have been like, oh, you know, the filth was riddled across the street, you know, their bones showing through on their stomach, and I'd be like, dang, this person is a terrible, you know, it's terrible. Or it could be like, oh, these, you know, misfortunate souls had lost their homes. Like, it gives them a view into the character's psyche, or like who they are. So maybe that's why I like it more. I'm not sure. I think both ways works fine, you know, depends on the writer. Past the house. Ignore the interrogation rooms. Where Father David had lied about her confession. Well, no, that wouldn't work. Oh, this is tough. This is tough because I think I have it where the interrogation room was somewhere different. Because sometimes it's not that, you know, the area is not that big. I think also, though, gonna be, I don't know, it's gonna be a little tough. It's not like they do have an armory, they'll have storerooms, the kitchen, like where they eat, because a lot of the guards will live there. Some go home, but most of them won't. Let's do something else. The main building housed a few desks where citizens could report their complaints to a guard. There were 2 doors on the right side, while there was a doorway on the opposite side. If I said opposite side of the entrance, to the left was Sheriff Whitman's office. Okay, we did a little description just to see how it looks like. We'll probably change it, I'm not sure, but for now, let's keep writing. At the sight, anger burned through. Well, she couldn't. Anger flickered in her chest and died. Because she's like almost emotionless. It's hollow. They had all been idiots. True murderer. I walked among them, and everyone had been ignorant of the truth. It was up to Lucinda to open their eyes. She had to make them see. It's kind of like she's convincing herself that she's doing good. It was easy to track Whitman. He had burned that smell into her mind. Because remember, he did he's been around, and he was there, I think, when she in the forest. Yeah, when Michael brought her back, Whitman was there. It's not too strange that she would have been like zoomed in on him specifically, but she couldn't do anything about it. She Linda pushed open the door. I pushed open the door. The bolt that against her strength. So it was locked and she just like forced it open. The room was empty. Scattered scrolls littered the ground. She stalked through the room, hunting. She came to a stop at the far wall by the bookshelf. The smell came from there. Not one by one, because that would take too long. Linda emptied the... Not empty. Pulled the books, probably one by one, until one of the spines refused to move any further. Moment later, the bookshelf swung in, revealing a secret passage. I like my secret passages. Stairs led into the darkness. But the darkness didn't scare her anymore. She was part of it. And soon, Whitman would be too. There we go. The stairs? Okay. At least we'll keep it like that for now. Alright, so she's at the stairs. Let me take a look at my plot. What did I have? Well, I feel like I'm reading through. I feel like I skipped a huge part of like other stuff, but then it's like, you know what? I think I included that already. Yeah, I think I included that already. Okay, that's fine. I mean, the order of events happened a little differently than I planned, but that's fine. Linda took the stairs cautiously. She could never be certain what Whitman had, what tricks Whitman had up his sleeve. Okay, so on that note, actually, we are at 22,000 words. So we reached our daily word count for today. That took a little longer than I thought, but an hour and a half is not bad. I think a lot of it was me trying to like figure out different like writing styles. But no, it's not bad. It's not bad. Like we hit the daily word count, and that's really good. 2,000 words, 2,000 words a day. You know, nothing bad. It's 22,026. Oh no! Whoops! No! I accidentally put like. Okay, no, I didn't write 200,000. No. Oh my. No. Can you stop that? I didn't win yet. I messed up. But I didn't win. Oh, son of a biscuit. Can I? Oh, shoot. I didn't. Dang it. Okay, I think I'm okay. I accidentally I added like an extra digit to the 22,000, and they're like, "Hey, you did it." I'm like, "No, I really didn't though." So, yeah, you know what? It does say I'm 37%, and that's about the 22. Looking at the graph, it says 22, so I'm fine. I don't know. I'm glad I was able to update it, but I was like, I didn't win though. It was a typo. All right. So in that case, let's go ahead and end right here. I'll try not to write like the 1,000 words tomorrow morning on my own, but I kind of like it though. It's like, you know, I like writing in the morning, and I think I might just keep up with it. I'll try to hold back on like not writing that many tomorrow. But if it happens, it happens. So a little bit more on this week. Today's Tuesday. Yes. So tomorrow I should be streaming in the afternoon as well. No stream on Thursday. I have errands all day to run. And then we'll be back Friday. So we have Wednesday and Friday. And then we'll take a break for the weekend. But I will still write, and I'll post my updates on Twitter. So if you guys are interested and knowing what I've been up to, Twitter is a good place. And I have all my socials on my YouTube channel page. So there's that. But again, I want to thank you for all your support. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope to catch you guys tomorrow. Until then, good luck on your writing. And if you're not, well, thanks for dropping by. Bye.